Hey, what's up ladies and gentlemen, it is I am the one and only Maxi here, and I am from the likes of the Maxi Toys videos as always. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back for some more of Let's Play of Knight's Journey of Dreams for the Nintendo Wii. So last time we have basically just managed to wrap things up in terms of Aqua Garden by going through the final 2 missions on that world, and also we did manage to... Excuse me, I do sorry about this point, folks. But anyway, and also we did manage to tackle through 3 missions in terms of, well, Crystal Castle. And all in all, we did a pretty good run, except on this first mission, as you can tell, because, well, usually that is a good thing we go C as opposed to D or E, just because it actually requires the last India to able to actually obtain from. So in this case, today for this episode is the fact that we're also able to actually decide to finishing up in terms of Crystal Castle, and eventually we'll move on to the next world after this. So with that being said, let's head on to the forms of the 4th mission, which I think we might able to come across into some sort of like a different mission type, because after all we've already experienced several different missions from the likes of Will's Dream, of course, and some of them exclusively to Helen. But let's see what happens until whenever we're able to dive right in to the 4th mission. So with that being said, I can't believe we're actually on the halfway point.
This must be the mountain with all the jewels the old owl was talking about. What's that sound?
Oh, it's awful! The Nightmarins have angered the Jewel Mountain!
Ah!
What? Are you frightened?
Of course not. It's not me, it's Helen.
Ah, yes, well, be that as it may, we must retrieve those jewels.
What do you mean?
The Nightmarins have caused the mountain to erupt in order to get at the jewels that it spouts forth. Jewels that glimmer with the light of an Idia. They're part of the Idia. If they are lost, then so too is Nightopia.
Come on, Helen. Let's go. We need to get those jewels before they do. Okay.
Okay, so in this mission is the fact that we need to collect about 50 jewels in order to able to complete the mission. And once you've done that already, then you would be able to move on to the next mission. So yeah, basically you have to able to obtain 50 jewels, and that's pretty much about it. So, and while you have to wait until when the time runs out. If depending on how much jewels you're going to be collecting, it could be either you can able to actually just well, collect them for when you're trying to fly, or alternatively, you can also utilize the parent loop, so that way you can able to actually obtain those as well. So with that being said, yeah, today's day is of course the 17th of February today, in this case in 2021. As you guys may already know, is the fact that yesterday we have managed to able to have ourselves a bit of a celebration last night, or yesterday I should say, by the forms of, well, the 10th anniversary. So even then though, let me know in the comments below about the fact that did you enjoy that particular special, which I certainly did enjoy that, despite there are some commentary errors, and especially noticeable for some sentences errors, but that's only because it almost feels kind of rushed at points. But apart from those aside things though, it's actually not too shabby either. So, and also let me know in the comments below if what you think about that specific special intro that I've managed to create it. Well, it's only exclusive to the 10th anniversary video, not any forms of the majority of the videos themselves. This is clearly obvious because of the celebrations debuted, so but I digress. A few things I want to explain about them for this point today is that yes, Nintendo Direct, the general Nintendo Directs, are finally back. After like several months, or to be more specifically, 531 days without a general Direct, and finally we've now finally got the general Nintendo Direct. And good news is the fact that it's gonna be hosting today. Well, to be more specifically, 10 o'clock in the UK, and depending on the forms of different countries, they do have their different, well, time zones, as you guys should know. So yeah, I'm very excited for the forms of the revival of the general Nintendo Directs, because again, The only thing, what makes it a little bit more of a, well, how should I say? Because the reason why we didn't get ourselves the general Nintendo Direct during the forms of last year, like, usually it just gets replaced by the forms of those partner showcases, is that, of course, the coronavirus pandemic, which I know it all along. Which, even then though, that could be summarized as such of why 2020 year is such a worse year, so, but I digress. So even then though, I can't wait to see some of these exciting games they're about to be showing us in terms of the forms of today's Nintendo Direct at some point. In fact, I'll discuss more details about, the true reveals at some point, maybe on Friday, if I was gonna come back into this game. So because of that though, it has been about 2 days since I actually did manage to last touch upon this game, because of course, the anniversary that did happen during the forms of yesterday. So, yeah, that's how it goes basically. So even then though, and let's see what rank I can get for this mission, and oh, so close to getting an A, but that's fine, because B is the only one I always cared for, because, well, again, you have to get C or higher ranks to able to get the last India, which, as you guys should know, ever since in Willstream, there is only one mission I need to get for, you know, C or higher is, of course, the roller coaster mission. So, anyway, that's out of the way. Now let's move on to the forms of the final mission in terms of Crystal Castle, and oh boy, we have to come across into that exact same boss fight again, aren't we? Yeah, but I think I might as well notice that already, and still, this is considered this to be my least favorite boss fight in the game, just because, it's not because it's hard or anything, but it's just, it kind of feels like tedious, and also it's just rather boring at the same time, but hopefully we'll try to get the higher rankings, if it's possible enough.
I should have figured that you'd be the one behind all this. Stop sneaking around and come out!
So, yeah, looks like we have to fight against with this thing again, so like a cat wizard thingy like right here. Even though I don't know exactly what their names are, to be honest with you, because it has been like, you know, quite a few days since I actually last touched upon Knight's games, as far as I'm aware. So, here we go, let's just get this boss fight done and over with, and once again we do need to utilize the actual tilting thing here, and also you need to let these cat bombs to able to actually go through the holes themselves, because, well, that's the only entire option if you really want to able to, well, defeat the boss. But as a result, sometimes I swear to God, the actual tilting thing itself is really finicky at times, especially noticeable. I swear I was gonna able to try to tilt it slightly with the actual control stick, and it doesn't matter which specific movements I want to go through, that most of the time I just keep on missing the holes themselves, which as a result, yeah, not a great boss fight though, in my honest opinion. It's actually still my least favorite boss fight. Well, at least the chameleon, the magician chameleon, which I honestly found that boss to be okay, but it's just a bit luck-based. But for this, it's like pretty slow, and it's kind of boring though, and plus it took way too long. I couldn't imagine if anyone's ever first time experiencing this boss fight, oh man, they're gonna be doing a lot of like, wow, trial and error on this boss fight, which it's even worse when it gets to the point when you're trying to deal with the first ever mission in Crystal Castle for the first time. Oh gosh, you have to go through the actual entire arm rails kind of segment all over again. If you get like a lower ranking, then you have to go through all that stuff again. So, if you think this boss is over, well, nope, it isn't, because now we actually introduce ourselves the second phase. And the second phase is even more annoying, because now you need to rely on the forms of those little stupid hill things that utilizes the forms of, well, stop those bomb cats for able to go into those holes. And, yeah, it's something else. But anyway, yeah, let's just talk about the positive note for this point today is, of course, Nintendo Directs later on today. In fact, let me know in the comments below of what you expect to see your predictions. I think I might as well go for my predictions first, while I'm actually just trying to concentrate on Well, actually, on second thoughts though, I might as well mention more about it until whenever we get on to the next world after this, because, again, I do apologize if my voice has actually gone slightly off at this point today. It's not because I just didn't get the illness, luckily, but it's just the fact that I, almost got drunk after the films of last night for, or yesterday's 10th anniversary or something for celebration of my, or in this case, the NiGHTS YouTube channel and stuff like that. So, but I digress. So, I think we've only got one more, bomb cat left, and, hopefully it's gonna have to tilt this thing right, and it's also kind of, it's also kind of annoying as well that, sometimes those bomb cats will always try to charge right at you, and as a result, it's way too inconsistency, and as a result, it can give you a lot of tedium momentum. So, yeah, I'm honestly not a big fan of this fight. It's just way too boring for my taste. But luckily, if you couldn't tell from the actual gauge, as far as what it tells me to noticing this, I think I might as well get myself B or higher, so, well, to be more specifically though, it's definitely a B. So, thank God I don't have to deal with this boss fight again, but if you're gonna come across into this boss fight, it is the most annoying fight in the game. Just telling you right now.
The blue Idia, which governs intelligence, another lost piece of my heart.
As I suspected, a mere second-level nightmare like Bomamba cannot stop knights.
A word, if you will, Master Wiseman. It is because of the visitor's Idia that...
Silence, Riala.
Yes, Master.
We must not allow knights to get away with these indiscretions. You see to it that knights' freedom is put to an end. Go at once.
As you wish, Master.
Okay, so now we've been able to actually go on for that, and now we're going to be moving on to the next world. And of course, before we get on to the next world, we need to be able to get ourselves the next treasure, which is pretty obvious. It will contain another persona, which appears to be, well, Rocket persona, so... What the heck? Oh my gosh, that, Helen just managed to clip through that treasure chest's clamshell. Ah, I did not expect that. But anyway, that was weird. But anyway, let's just go ahead and, well, trying to move on to the next world, which is some sort of like a grassy nature world. And, can't wait to see how this will able to plays out to be. And the next world, it is called... Oh, okay, so it's simply called Memory Forest. So it's like a dream of memory. So what is this, like chain of memories or something? Or maybe it's because, well, we ended up on the forest nature of memories or something. I have no idea. But anyways, let's begin the first mission in Memory Forest. But first of all, we got ourselves, as usual, cinematic cutscenes. Or to be more specifically, 3 cinematics in one.
This place seems very familiar somehow.
You again! Didn't you get enough last time?
You can cut the act now, my dear sibling. You've done well in collecting the Idia.
What are you talking about?
You've played your part exceedingly well. The plan has gone perfectly without a hitch.
Played your part?
Why, Knight's part in our plan to steal your Idia from you. What else?
What?
Helen! Don't listen to these lies!
Lies? Let me ask you this, then, Knights. Does this visitor know that you're a Nightmaren, like me?
What? No, that can't be true. Because Knight has been helping me save Nightopia, and Nightmaren wouldn't do that.
Is it so hard to believe, really? Then let me ask you, have you or have you not seen knights wear a mask like mine? This mask here is called a persona. It is a symbol of loyalty to Master Wiseman. You know then, don't you, that what I'm saying is true? Oh, poor visitor. Betrayed by the one she thought was her friend. And now, you're so alone.
No, it can't be.
Helen.
Now, this is farewell. Say goodbye, little visitor.
What? Ah!
Helen!
Your Will.
It's good to see you again, Helen. So what happened to you? Are you all right?
Yes, I'm fine. Where are we?
This is my dream world. It looks like you've wandered into my world this time.
Ah, that burst of light. It must have sent me here. Ow!
Are you hurt? Can you stand up?
No, I'm all right, really. I think I must have just twisted my ankle. That's all.
Well, take it easy then, okay? Let's head for the doll. It's time for me to repay the favor by getting you back now.
Thank you, Will.
There it is. That's the doll.
Oh, Will. Thank you so much.
What's the matter, Helen? Is something wrong?
Well, I don't know. Someone who I thought was my friend. Well, I guess we weren't such good friends after all. So I...
You need to believe in your friends, Helen. You said you were good friends, right? Then you've got to believe in them. If you trust in your friend, then that trust is sure to get through. Maybe this is why you and I ran into each other again.
Well, thank you. I'll try to keep that trust, because we are friends.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Will. Do you think we'll ever see each other again?
I'm sure we will. If you trust that we will.
You're right. I'm sure we will.
See you later, Helen.
Okay, see you.
And pretty much just like the forms of how it does it on Will's Dream playthrough, we ended up back onto Dream Gate again. Like, usually, relatively speaking, it's kind of like the same thing from Lost Park, from the likes of Will's Dream for sure. Except, we're now going to be taking control of Helen, as you can tell. So, anyway.
Oh, you're all right.
Yes, I'm fine. Thanks to a boy I met in another world.
A boy? You mean to say you've met another visitor?
Well, yes. Is that all right?
Oh, Well, typically, visitors are unable to encounter one another while in their respective worlds. I fear that this may be an ill omen for this world. Well, since a visitor's memory fades away after waking up, it may not be an issue.
What? My memory is going to go away?
We've got more important things to worry about right now. NiGHTS is in danger. Riala has imprisoned NiGHTS once again and is currently awaiting an escort. They're sure to be headed for Nightmare.
Don't worry. I won't let that happen. Because NiGHTS is my friend.
Yeah, enough about this interruptions later, because, well, somehow we need to head back onto Memory Forest for reals, and hopefully without any gifts like interruptions by Rialo again. So either way though, let's do this for the second attempt, although not necessarily the second attempt, but we'll go back there again, and this time we're gonna do the first ever mission for reals. So, anyway though, so here's the main emphasis on the forms of the main gimmick in terms of Memory Forest, is that as you can see, we actually come across into those little switches, which actually calls it the sundial, which basically is the fact that it feels like a time limit kind of thing, and you need to hurry things up before it starts to deactivate the switch. And then once you're able to actually activate the switch, then you would able to actually access to those quicker methods by able to actually go for those obstacles faster. So even then though, we'll probably come across into more details onto that whenever we get onto the forms of the second mission, because although before we do anything else, here's something a bit fun. We have ourselves these musical notes that we can able to, well, interact with it. So in this case, I wonder what this, oh wait a second, this theme is actually based off on the nursery rhyme kind of music, which I think it was like London Bridge is Falling Down, instrumental theme, which I thought it was, as far as I guessed this correctly, so yeah, I just want to point it out. So, yeah, anyway though, so even then though, but there was also the separate mission that we're about to be getting to at some point, this Friday, so because of that though, we can expect this for this much. So, in fact, that particular musical notes section that we actually did done, it kind of reminds me of those particular sections in the forms of, damn it, the stupid little chain just gets in my way. But luckily we managed to get there in the end. So anyway, it does remind me of one of those sections in specifically in Melody Town by the forms of Kirby's Epic Yarn, where basically you can able to actually collect those beads if you manage to able to actually just follow those musical notes correctly, and that way you would be able to actually get yourselves more beads if you do it correctly. So yeah, except the fact the matter is though, although dang it, yeah, if you touch those little weird looking orb looking vortex thing, basically it just blocks your path. So if you dare touch one, then it just basically blocks your progression. So unless if it decides to run out, or decides to run out, I should say. So either way though, there's not much else to really say about this. So and also this bit reminds me of so much of Sonic Adventure in Twinkle Park, that the one time that you have to go around in a carousel, although the only biggest difference is obviously is that it does not contain spike balls anymore, so that makes there some sort of like a similar reference there. So anyway though, so let's go ahead and continue things on here. I do apologize if I was keep on sniffing a lot, although thankfully it's nothing to do with the cold or anything, it's just the fact that, well, it has been a while since I actually did done some of my commentary and all that stuff. So yeah, anyway, as far as you guys should already know, is the fact that ever since I've already mentioned about this, ever since in yesterday's video's anniversary video, unfortunately though, is the fact that My Little Pony's second film is going to be not be on the big screen anymore, because instead it's going to be on Netflix, which I'm fine with, just like the forms of how it does it on the SpongeBob movie Sponge on the Run. So, but either way though, it feels kind of similar for that essences on it, which, because obviously that is usually going to be made by Paramount films and all that stuff, you know, just like in a Sonic movie, and also same applies to, you know, SpongeBob movie, Sponge on the Run, and you probably get the idea about this specific solution. So, anyways, let's go ahead and keep on moving. And, yeah, for my predictions, in terms of Nintendo Direct for later on today, until 10 o'clock in the UK time, my predictions is pretty obvious. It's gonna be the next DLC for Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. In fact, I don't know if it's gonna be like Crash Bandicoot is gonna be in it, or Sora from Kingdom Hearts, which I'm really hoping by the way, or something else which I honestly don't mind. But either way though, yeah, that was my first prediction. And I suppose another prediction I was going to be thinking of is the fact that I'm not exactly sure if new Pokemon Snap is going to be featured in the actual Direct, because obviously since we only got about more than 2 months away from the likes of the release of new Pokemon Snap, and I'm really looking forward to that particular game, because it has been, you know what I mean, donkey's years since when the first game came out on the Nintendo 64. So, yeah, that pretty much subs it for that. And also another prediction I was going to be thinking of is, of course, The Legend of Zelda's 35th anniversary stuff. I'm not exactly sure what they're going to bring us into, but we'll see what happens in during later on whenever I discuss more details about this and during on Friday. So, yeah, that pretty much usually just gets, like, subbed up as much. And also, a lot of fans were expecting to hoping that there's going to be a new Kirby game. To be more specifically, a 3D Kirby game, because every single rumors keeps on mentioning about that specific stuff. And also another thing I want to predict is that we're able to get ourselves our brand new 2D Metroid game. To be more specifically, a new 2D Metroid game. So because of that though, I highly doubt it will not show off the Metroid Prime 4 just yet though, just because of the actual development update has been like restarted from the likes of Retro Studios and stuff like that. So actually I'll get into more details about the predictions later, because we actually come across into another boss fight. And that's what appears to be this little Queen Spider. I have no idea what that name is supposed to be. Oh, it says Queen Bella, or Della. I don't know what to be more precise because the text is so small, so I must admit that I apologize. So yeah, here's the actual emphasis on this fight. You have to constantly need to able to utilize this little spiderweb ball, and your objective for this fight is that you have to get rid of those platforms, and basically that way you weren't able to actually let the Queen Bella just manage to go right into the lava as she goes. And yeah, because if she touches the lava, then she'll be able to be dead by now. So even then though, yeah, you have to keep on doing that a lot for this fight. So either way though, that pretty much sums it up for this point. And honestly, this boss fight is actually pretty cool though. Especially noticeable if you manage to able to do... Oh wow, that was actually really quick. Oh man. But eventually, until whenever we get onto the rematch encounter with her, basically it just gets a bit harder. So, but then again, we'll see what happens during at some point this Friday. So, let's see what rank I can get. Ooh, top-notch A rank. So that's actually a great start in terms of this particular world so far. So yeah, I'm very impressed about this. And now we can able to play Dream Forest within 2-player mode. So, yeah, if you're probably wondering that what 2-player, you know, 2-player race and battle modes you're able to actually notice, that basically you would be able to play as, well, kind of similar to Sonic Adventure 2, where basically one player can take control of the good guy and the other being the bad guy. So for instance, it's like in Sonic Adventure 2 you take control of Sonic and then the other player controls Shadow. But in here, basically you're able to take control of Knights as in one player, and then the second player can take control of Riella. So yeah, that pretty much sums it up.
These woods sure are dark. The enemy could be hiding just about anywhere. Be on your toes, Helen.
These woods. These trees. I think my family came here on a picnic once when I was younger. Mom got our lunch ready. And I played hide and seek with Dad. And...
Helen! It's almost lunchtime!
That's right. This is NiGHTopia, the dream world of my memories. Come on, Knights, let's go! Knights! Where are you? Hey! Where did you go?
And oh boy, we're gonna go for the actual navigation of the forest, aren't we? On foot, by the way. So, because of that though, here's another one of those walking kind of missions. And yeah, believe me, there are about 3 of these, by the way, for the sake of, you know what I mean, Helen's dream playthrough. At least for Will's dream, that you only have to come across as those on foot walking segments at least just once. But in here, though, you have to come across into likely, well, 3 times for Helen's story, so... yeah, I know, it's a bit strange, but I digress. So yeah, this is what I mean when it comes to the switch mechanic in terms of the forms of this particular stage. Basically, depending if you manage to able to activate the switch, then you would be able to actually let the, some things deactivate or activate. So, for instance, it's the fact that since I grabbed that treasure chest from about few seconds ago, that usually contains, you know, blue chips to able to collect, so that way you can able to toss the projectile right at the enemies, so able to actually just to stun them. And, yeah, this is by far is one of the worst versions of the actual walking on foot missions, because it's almost like a maze kind of level. Well, at least unlike the forms of how it does it on the previous 3 walking on foot missions, at least for the forms of the Will's Dream, I can at least manage to able to solve many puzzles thanks to the forms of the actual the neon switches that you can able to activate thanks to those blue chips. And on the forms of the first walking missions in during Helen's story campaign, they at least it's like somewhat linear and all that jazz. And then as far as the forms of the second walk on foot missions for Helen's dream, at least you can able to actually just to end off the actual stage very quickly, depending if you're able to be quite good at navigation. But in here, this is by far the most tedious one of them all, because even then though, that it's kind of like it's like the exact same thing, at least to my experience anyway, from ever since during the forms of in Sonic Heroes Rail Canyon, Team Chaotix mission, where basically in the Team Chaotix Rail Canyon mission is the fact that you have to constantly need to activate those different colored switches to able to change the railings and all that stuff. Although, usually in that particular mission, it does have a goal ring at the end, so at least that's something, alright? But in here, though, you have to able to navigate for this whole entire, like, maze labyrinth. Although, when you get that hang of it, it won't be that bad, but it's just that, again, for those of you who have a first time experiencing this mission, what the heck? Okay, whatever. Anyway, like, for instance, if you have a first time experiencing this mission, if you manage to first got the game on your Nintendo Wii console, basically you do not know where you're supposed to go. But thankfully, if you look up on my footage right there, well, assuming I'm still hoping to get the C or higher rankings, then I would be able to actually show you guys the better run, in comparison to the forms of likely it's just like a blind kind of playthroughs or something. Luckily there are plentiful of treasure chests around here, so at least you can able to get some goodies like, you know what I mean, blue chips, as well as the actual timer right there. So you would be able to actually just to classify for able to just do just that, so... Anyway, so let's just go ahead and go down, and we better make sure if that the air current will not blow me up, which I highly doubt it won't be, so even though that should be pleasant. So, another prediction I was going to be thinking of in terms of today's Nintendo Direct, the general one I should say, is the fact that I really don't know if they're going to be bringing us into the forms of some new info on Breath of the Wild 2, or specifically Bayonetta 3, or Metroid Prime 4, because it's pretty much unknown at this rate. But the only thing I'm really hoping about, ever since the forms of our, you know, the entire redo Let's Plays of those Mario Party games that we keep on doing, that still that Sonic who's going to be carrying on playing Mario Party 3 recently. So as a result, we could possibly might get ourselves a new Mario Party game after 3 years of the release of, well, the most recent game in the series, Super Mario Party. So I don't know if what the game itself is going to be called, but we'll see what happens during at some point later on throughout the Direct. So, and also same applies for the forms of the new Mario Golf game that most fans really wanted, because it's been almost like 7 years since the previous Mario Golf game to be released, but that was the forms of Mario Golf World Tour for the 3DS. At least not counting the forms of Mario Sports Superstars, although technically Mario Sports Superstars does technically have a golf kind of sport, but it's more likely a compilation instead of the forms of the entirety of the golf. So the only thing you can only get is just 4 courses, and it's just pretty simplistic. So yeah, I just want to point it out. So, and I suppose another thing I would able to predict is that, well, obviously since that Crash Bandicoot 4 It's About Time is now available, or is now going to be on the Nintendo Switch and during at some point next month. So I don't know if we might able to get some more infos about that specific version, but we'll see what happens until later on. And also another prediction I was going to be thinking of is that something related to Sonic, let's just say one of those Sonic games might come exclusively to the Switch. You know, kind of like how it did in the forms of several Sonic games in the past that usually just becomes only exclusive to Nintendo's platform. Like ever since in Sonic Colors for both the Wii and Nintendo DS, and also what else came out exclusively? Oh yeah, Sonic and the Secret Rings, and Sonic and the Black Knight, and also Sonic Lost World, until the PC version did manage to later on came out in 2015. And the Sonic Boom games, which are basically Shadow Crystal and Fire and Ice and Rise of Lyric. Sorry, I just keep on complaining about that specific stupid game, which is of course Rise of Lyric game, and it's just, that game bores me to death. And I think that's as far as we can able to try to say in terms of Nintendo exclusive games, in terms of Sonic games during that time. So yeah, that was the only part I was thinking of anyway. So yeah, I would like to hear your thoughts. And we're not exactly sure as well that we could possibly try to get Mario Kart 9 for the Nintendo Switch. Although the only problem is though is the fact that since that Mario Kart 8 Deluxe has been sold significantly well, and as a result that it kind of does the exact same thing for Grand Theft Auto 5 syndrome, where basically most fans of Grand Theft Auto games, of Grand Theft Auto series of fans, were expecting to see the 6th game in the series, which the problem is though, upon announcing that specific stuff, that basically it's just the fact the matter is that, oh god! Oh, please don't let it be. Please don't let it be the lowest rank I can get. And thankfully, we found Nice just around the corner. God, that mission is over. I mean, it's also kind of slow as well. So yeah, don't expect things to able to run too fast on this mission. So, and thank God we got ourselves a C rank on that particular mission, because if I get a lower rank or anything like that, I'm probably not going to touch upon that specific mission again. Well, I have no idea what I'm truly saying for this confusingly, but still. But I digress. So I think we should probably say this right now. We got the endings of this point right here. So join me next time for more of Let's Play of Knight's Journey of Dreams. Is that we're also able to finishing up in terms of Memory Force. And eventually, much like a World Stream, we can probably get into the forms of Bellbridge once again for the second playthrough, but this time playing as Helen. So I'll see you guys until on Friday. Later, fellas.